And a good Monday, everybody. Welcome in. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game. I'm Chase McCabe. He's Big Joe Dubin, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. And we are ready to have some fun here on a Monday. JoJo, what's up?
What's going on, man? Good to see you last night. Fun time at the Speedway all weekend. And it's a shame, Chase McCabe, it's a shame that race ended so late because that was one badass race last night.
It was awesome. There's a reason that I am coming from the palatial Chase McCabe home studios. I don't always like to do that, but I got in at 1:30 last night. So
that would be this morning, pal.
This morning, yeah. So I needed a little extra time and was like, guys, I hate to do this to you, but I'm coming remote today. But I got the good wrench hat on that I picked up yesterday. Raise hell, praise Dale. And you're right. I mean, the finish going three wide with three Joe Gibbs racing cars and Denny Hamlin, who started on the pole, jumped the start, had to go all the way to the back, battled his way back up front, and wins the race. I mean, it was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, you can't control the weather, obviously, but I think Dale Jr. said it best. Basically, he said last night's race was Bristol on steroids.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's a very accurate way to put the race last night. And you know, all the cars were having brake problems because they said that's the number one track you have to brake more than any other track on the circuit, and just all the things are going in. So as a pseudo kind of out of the box race fan, hearing that stuff, like they didn't take me inside baseball, you know, inside the pits too much on the broadcast, just telling me the stuff that you needed to know as a average race fan. It was fascinating. I hate that it ended so late, because I think so many people missed the ending, and it was really cool.
Well, I can tell you this. The people that were there, they didn't miss it. No, nobody left. I was very, very impressed that people, hung around through the rain delay. And it wasn't a bad rain delay. It was one of those annoying ones. So to give you perspective of where I am through all of this, I was on pit road by the stage. And so it was me and Matt Gricci from the track and NASCAR officials. And so I'm, and it's fascinating to watch all of this work because there's so much communication going on, up to the tower, back to Charlotte with a meteorologist, like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So I'm standing there just kind of watching all of this, and we all had the same reaction of we're looking at our phones, looking at the radar, looking at the sky of it's not a big cell, but it parked over the racetrack and it was just enough rain to be annoying. And that's really what it was. And there's the term, you lose the track, and they had started drying. It looks like it was only going to be like a 20-minute delay, and then it opened up a little bit more and they lost the track. And so that ultimately, delayed it by about an hour and a half. The track does dry relatively quick because it's concrete, and with the technology and all the dryers they have now, they can do it pretty fast, but it still takes a little time. And through all of that, I was laughing at the fans that were just sitting there. I mean, they were waiting, and every time a safety vehicle drove by, because I keep trucks on the track to kind of monitor how it is, they would wave and they would cheer and stuff. And so they were into it. And throughout the race, and there was a portion of the race where they couldn't get going because they kept wrecking and stuff, and they were still into it. So I was very impressed with how the crowd was. And our friend Wayne D, who does Preds games, he was there working the crowd, and so they were tremendous. And so I kudos, fourth straight sellout for Nashville Super Speedway and the Cracker Barrel 400. And so kudos to the fans for showing up.
Well, race fans are the best. They don't give a damn. They'll sit through a damn tornado, hurricane, and a pandemic to watch race. They don't care. They're the absolute best. And when you were on the stage last night doing your introduction in front of, I guess it was before the band came out, all that stuff. And I was just out there with a bunch of, you were on the stage, a couple thousand people out there, and just talking to a few of them. They didn't care about the rain. They don't care as long as they're there. They don't care. I'm like, you know what? I wish I had that type of resolve in my life where I don't mind that all these weather conditions are coming through, and to be that passionate about something. So I just thought it was another grand slam for the National Super Speedway.
Well, and it was fun. You talk about the Q&A stuff. I got to talk to some drivers. Ryan Blaney. So we meet backstage, and I go, "Hey, Ryan, I'm Chase McCabe. You probably don't remember me, but you came and hung out with Big Joe, my co-host, and I last year in studio." And he kind of thought a second. He goes, "Oh yeah, man, you guys were awesome. That was fun." And so that just right there made our whole Q&A easy, because I kind of jogged his memory on that. But he's such a cool guy. And then got to catch up with our old buddies Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. Taylor was like legit a little nervous about doing the command, but I thought they did a good job.
We couldn't hear it because the media center, it was so loud in there and things, but they didn't turn it up. Anyway, no harm, no foul on that. It was fine. I mean, I just thought the whole weekend was really good. Well done with that. And as we said Friday, man, just the whole moving circus of all the trailers, all the RVs, all the people, everything. And now they pack up and then they head to Pocono. I know they've got it down to an art, but just to watch it all, it was like the perfect ballet, man. Just come in, have the race, have a good time, and then move on to the next stop down the road. So anyway, good job by you and everybody last night for doing that. But when I was listening to the radio here on 102.5 for the race, Connor Zilich, is that his name?
Yep.
Talked about hitting the wall in turn one. And he said he was going down, and that's when you start to speed. You got to speed up just a little bit, but maintain, your spot. And he says his brakes went out and he had no choice but to hit the wall. Can you imagine that? I mean, you're about 150 around the corner, and then he's like, my brakes went out and I had no choice but to hit the wall. And it was then they went this whole line last night about the different brake you need for different racetracks. And I'm like, this is fascinating to me. Because they talked to one crew chief, like, yeah, we brought our other brake system here. We're not worried about it. And our brakes aren't overheating. And meanwhile, that was a big story the night the brakes going out. And I was all right, I enjoy this. This is bizarre, and it's a good topic, and it's fun about what they're dealing with. But man, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to hit the wall. And no pressure, Connor Zilich. I mean, he's like, yeah, we just hit the wall, and that was it. I was like, man, I'd be scared to death. I guess you don't have time to be scared.
You don't. I mean, if you're scared, you don't need to be in a race car. That's pretty much it. I mean, you know what it is. But look, Tyler Reddick, as they cross the start finish line, he took a hard hit. I mean, some of those pancakes that they had against the wall, it hurts. I mean, it doesn't feel good. That is for sure. I mean, you're so tight in that seat that it's going to jerk you around. But that was the crazy part, is watching the brake failures and all of that. I will say this. So our booth, the PA booth, is right next to the Prime booth. So that was where Adam Alexander, Steve Letarte, Dale Earnhardt Jr. were. And I know Adam a little bit from covering NASCAR, so we got to catch up. But watching those guys and how animated they got at the end of the race, that was like a show within itself. And then, not that I didn't know this, but like, when you're around Dale Earnhardt Jr., you truly realize what famous looks like, because like that guy, everybody just flocks to him, and he handles it with class and signs as many autographs as he can, and is very appreciative. But like, I was walking out of the media center and I saw this giant group of people, and I'm like, oh, must be Dale Jr. And sure enough, it was. I mean, it's just, you talk about having that kind of clout and being that famous. And there aren't that many people in this world that can say that.
Yeah, you're right. I was watching the pregame that he was on Prime before, out to the media center, and I mean, they're all gathered there to look at him. They're not looking at Mark Martin or the girl on there or Corey LaJoy, whoever. They're looking at Dale Jr. I mean, that was the one, and so they should just make him the president of NASCAR.
I don't think he wants that, but I think he likes being, kind of an ambassador to NASCAR.
Yeah.
And he is. I mean, like, he is a guy. Well, here's what's funny. We were talking about this in the booth. I'm wearing the Dale Earnhardt hat, right? Back in the day, you had guys like Dale Earnhardt that if there was something that needed to change in NASCAR, he could walk into the office and go, this needs to change. And they would go, all right, Dale, we'll take care of it. They don't have that anymore. They just don't have those guys. Dale Jr., even though he's not an active driver, does still have some of that cachet like his dad did, but probably not to the same extent. So That's kind of where the sport is at, that, you have a new leadership group, and, it's still the France family, but there are outside entities that are in. But
Right.
the drivers, you just don't. I mean, Denny Hamlin probably is one of them, but there aren't many that have that. Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty. That literally were like, "Hey, you're going to change this." Yes, sir. We sure will.
Yeah. No,
They
you're
just
right.
don't have
No,
that.
you're absolutely right. So anyway, just a great job all around for everybody for doing that. And just, I don't know, it was fun. And again, as a race, you're the expert. I'm the fan. So as the fan, I thought it was so well done that I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do it again next year. It was just well done, every part for the speedway out there.
Let's see. 4312 said, best next gen race at Nashville. For the money I paid for the ticket, I wasn't leaving.
Good.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, if you missed it, you missed something really special last night out there. And hopefully he, comes back next year is just as good. I mean, I don't know why it would not be, and I think the drivers like that track, because there's 3 concrete tracks on the circuit. Is that right? That's what somebody said last night. And
Dover, Bristol, Nashville. Yeah, that seems right.
Okay. And they were like, the guys like this because they don't get to race on these tracks quite a bit. And plus, I don't know, it was once the rain cleared out and the sunset was going down, it was it looked beautiful out there last night.
7606, golf, basketball playoffs, hockey playoffs, trade deadline, a ton of real sports, and we're talking about people making left turns.
Damn right we are.
Sold out event in our city, man. That's how we roll on this show.
Yep. Did he say golf?
He did say golf.
Delete that text. Good God. Golf is only good for 4 things. It's the Masters, the PGA, the U.S. Open. What's the British Open? That's it.
This is a texter that likes to let us know that he doesn't like racing, and I like to let him know that I really don't give a damn.
What'd you say, Nick?
I was going to say drinking, but I mean, it is what it is.
What's the other? The FedEx Cup? Is that the other one?
FedEx points.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you all think you love golf, but did you watch yesterday? No. Did you watch the week before? No, you're not watching. So stop with the BS. Stop with the BS. If you like golf, that's great. You ain't texting in if you're liking golf. You're watching golf.
To be fair to that texture, let me know how many birdies Russell Henley had on his back line. Would love to know that.
Oh, he's gonna look it up real quick and see it. What's going on?
Well, he just called me sensitive, but he accomplished his goal because I read his text. So there you go. Congratulations.
Sensitive. Oh, mine. Bing bong.
The crap you want to listen to starts at 2. So
what's the other one? What? No, I like. What did he say? Golf, baseball. What is it about baseball? Read the text again.
Golf, basketball playoffs, hockey playoffs, trade deadline, a ton of real sport. What trade deadline are you talking about?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you,
we don't care.
I love it, man. Bitch all you want, man. That's what we're here for. Complain all day long. We don't care. Do it. Love it. It's June 1st, man. Time for June topics.
Exactly. 4312, boo him. Boo that man.
Yep.
3457 says, Reddick is sore this morning because he crossed the finish line, lifted, and all of a sudden was going right head into the outside wall. AJ Allmendinger also took a lick when his rotor exploded. Also says, just look at the Nashville Fairgrounds when the Cars Tour came. The Dale Jr. effect is real. They sold out the pits and grandstands, overestimated 25,000 people.
Sold out the fairground. Yeah. So I mean, just it's crazy. It's you know what? Whatever that guy. It's okay to like a bunch of sports. It really is.
Yep.
It's okay. Like I'm not a baseball guy, but I'll sit here and listen to you guys talk baseball and add what I can. I don't mind it. I don't begrudge like soccer. I'm not a soccer guy, but I'm not going to begrudge you because you love soccer. I'm not going to put you down. I don't give a damn. We could like a lot of things at once. We've gotten so crazy as a country. Like, I don't like that, so I don't like you. I'm like, fine. I don't care. That's whatever. You know what? Still going to be here every day, noon to 3, no matter what. We're going to be here every weekday, noon to 3, having a good time. So you're welcome to join the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal.
2104. This is great. Mountaineering, bullfighting, and auto racing are the only real sports. The rest are just games. Ernest Hemingway. Apparently Hemingway said that.
He sure as hell did.
That's awesome.
Bullfighting. Yeah, man. We had the big rodeo, like the rodeo this weekend at Bridgestone. Sold out. I know they had concerts afterwards. Sold out. Hell, go have fun. I don't care what you do. Are you happy? It's all that matters to me. Go have fun.
Craig says if you couldn't watch the race last night and get excited, that's your problem.
Right. Exactly. It's great, man.
I
don't
mean,
know.
look, here's the thing, and I am picking on 7606, but I appreciate you listening. And look, you're welcome to comment, not like something. That's fine. But it just cracks me up when we live in this world where it's like, oh, I need to type real quick and tell you how much I don't like something. And it's like, okay, then don't go do something else.
Right,
Like, a lot of
man.
people do like this.
Exactly right,
So
pal.
it's like, who cares? Like, we don't need you. What is it you always say? Like, to sit in the airport, you don't need to announce your departure.
That's right. Social media is not the airport. You don't have to announce your departure. We don't. I mean, it's fine. And also, we've said this before, 3% of the people on planet Earth are against oxygen. At least 3% of people on Earth are against oxygen. So that should tell you all you need to know right there.
Okay, I'll give him this one. He goes, I don't actually mind what you talk about. Just love how easy it is to get Chase's attention with any left turn defamation.
It works.
It's true.
That's
I
right.
will give you that.
You do it. Yeah. That's well done.
Okay. We're late. Can we do question of the day when we come back?
Well, let's do it now. Let's tease it out there, and that way you
Okay.
can respond after. Our question of the day is, and it's because it's June 1st. We did this a month ago. Your first job you ever got a paycheck, but because it's summer is coming up, it's June 1st. What's the worst summer job you've ever had? The worst summer job you ever had growing up. Don't have to be your first job, just the worst summer job you ever had. 615-737-1025.
615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll have more of that coming next. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game.
All right, welcome back to the Chase and Big Joe show right here on 102.5 The Game. Our question of the day, 615-737-1025. What is the worst summer job you ever had? The absolute worst summer job, not your first job, just the worst summer job you ever had, because today is June 1st, and so we do that. Dr. Crane, do we have, this is my worst summer job I ever had?
At Big Joe on the go, he says, I quit a summer job once building decks. As I left, my drunk boss fired nails at me with a nail gun. Job ain't done, boy.
That is a
This
100%
last one.
true
You're
story.
famous.
No, I'm not. That's a 100% true story. It happened off of Franklin Limestone Road. Was hired to go build. My mom knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy, and go there. Got there at 7 a.m, and the guy was already drunk. I kid you not. And he built a step on this deck that went like not straight across, but at an angle. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. So he had me blocked in where my car was. So when I had to sneak out and around, and when I had to avoid his car and another car, and he saw me. I thought he was asleep, and he knew that I was leaving. It didn't help that I flipped him off either as I was leaving. And then I heard this ding, 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 and he'd fired the nails at me with the nail gun. And so I go down here to the Pizza Hut on the corner of Bell Road and Murfreesboro Road, and I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, you don't believe what happened. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, he was drunk, and then when I'm leaving, he fired the nails at me, the nail gun. She's like, well, how long did you work for us? So I got there before 7, and it's 12:15 now. So I got there 5 hours, and he was paying me like $12 an hour. She's like, well, why don't you go back and get your money, and then just tell him no thanks. I'm like, Mom, if I go back, I'm pretty sure he's going to shoot me in the neck with a nail gun. I'm not going back. It's over, but thank you. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I said, sorry, Mom, we'll move on and do something else. So that's the worst summer job ever.
That is a good one. I mean, I can't really say that I had one because I worked for my dad most of my summer jobs.
Okay, that's fine. You
know,
don't
I worked the family business. I worked at Toys R Us one summer, and that was actually a lot of fun. So I was pretty lucky in that sense.
Right. 8771 says, not to be on the nose, but my worst summer job was being a track attendant at a NASCAR speed park in Pigeon Forge. The job itself was not horrible, but having to wait all night to refuel the go-karts and coming home every night between 11 and 1 a.m. smelling like fuel was just not fun. Well, I guess not. That would be part of the reason why there.
Yep. Very good. Real quick, breaking news in the NFL. I don't know if you said this while I was away, but I'm going to say it again.
No, did not.
The Browns are finalizing a trade that will send two-time Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams. That is everybody reporting. In exchange for Garrett, the Rams are sending Pro Bowl edge rusher Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, and other draft pick compensations still being negotiated by the Browns. Wow.
Just shows you the draft doesn't matter to the Rams. Doesn't matter.
Well, and sending Jared Verse. I mean, that's a good player.
Well, here's the deal. You know where you're getting in Myles Garrett. You know where you're getting. You're going to get a guy who's relentless and he's awesome. With the 2027 first round, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know.
No.
The Rams didn't the Rams trade their number one this year to the Chiefs for the a DB, right? I forget his name, from the Chiefs DB that went there. So the Rams have reinvented the system and it's working. Because you don't know what you're getting with the first round guy. Half these guys, maybe 2/3 are busts. You're getting guys you know are proven. Good for the Rams.
Well, here's how the Rams look at it. They know that Matt Stafford has a year, maybe two. And they did draft potentially his replacement with the first round this year, which was a little bit controversial, but could be smart, could not matter. But they're basically looking at it as, this is our window. We've won one Super Bowl. We want to win another one. And then if we're bad for a few years after that, then we've won 2 Super Bowls.
Yep,
you know,
that's
with
right.
this group.
You know,
and that's how they look at it.
Rebuild again. Figure out a way to do it.
And there's so many times that you see teams do that. And, you know, I think you look at all the stuff that Titans fans have gone through with being bad. If they were bad, but they had won a Super Bowl at some point in time, it wouldn't matter. We would be having different conversations because it's like you did what you needed to do to go win.
The NFL is the ultimate draft portal. That's it. I mean, it's a portal. I mean, it's what you're doing. Myles Garrett wants to win a Super Bowl, and good for him. Now he goes to the Rams, got a great shot. Browns aren't going to win the Super Bowl. And look, when you say we're going to build through the draft, you're going to build through the draft. How many in 5 years, if you have 15 players on your team from your draft, you've done well. Because after that fourth year, guys are gone. They're getting the money gone. So if you, in 5 years, in 5 full drafts, if you got 15 guys on your team that you drafted, you've done well. Titans can't say that.
No.
And that's how bad it is. I mean, so if you could do that, I think the Bills had something like 19 guys on their team that they had drafted in the last 5 years, which, look, they didn't win a Super Bowl, but they're still competitive year in and year out, hell of a lot better than the Titans have been. So good for the Rams. They have reinvented the wheel, and proud of them for doing that. Because, again, you draft these guys in the you don't know what Carnell – everybody's going gaga for Carnell Tate because he caught a one-handed pass at practice. That's great. Now do it against the Jags in week 5 or whatever it is. I don't care what you do in camp. I don't care. I mean, so we just don't – the jury's out on all these guys. And so now you got a proven guy and you gave up next year. Who cares? You're right. The ultimate goal is win the Super Bowl. Win the Super Bowl now. Figure it out later on. Pretty simple.
Yep. And I mean, that's exactly what they're doing. And look, if you're Myles Garrett, I mean, you're doing cartwheels today because you are leaving, not a good situation. I know Browns fans are passionate and
they know,
but they know what they are.
Right.
And he's like, thank God I'm going somewhere that, values winning. I feel bad for Jared Verse because, again, I thought he was a pretty good player with the Rams, but you get Myles Garrett, you got to give something up.
It's a business, man. It's not daycare. So see ya. Take care of yourself and go on. And thank you for what you did. And now if you're the Rams, you're like, all right, we got this guy. Let's go.
So are the Rams, are they the favorite in the NFC right now?
I think they're the favorite in the league.
Well, sure. But I mean, like, we'll see what happens today around 4:00 because that's when the whole June 1st thing start. So my guess is AJ Brown is probably going to be on the move.
Look at don't you have DraftKings, all that other gambling? Look at the odds to win the Super Bowl. I mean, the Rams and the Seahawks, the Chiefs, the Niners, I think those were the teams that were in. Again, you give me 4 teams, I'll give you the rest of the league, and I'll have your Super Bowl winner. That's how bad the NFL has become in terms of good versus bad. And give me those 4 teams, and you'll have your Super Bowl winner.
I will look up the odds when we come back because I'm curious because usually they change that stuff pretty quickly if there's a big trade or whatever.
And that's a massive trade, so good for them.
Yep. So Myles Garrett headed to the Rams. What do you think? 615-737-1025. And also our question of the day, your worst summer job. We'll get into that and much more. It's Chasing Big Joe presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel on 1025 The Game. It's a Reaction Monday presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Chase and Big Joe 102.5 The Game. Hope you're having a great day. Myles Garrett has been reportedly a blockbuster trade that is seeing Myles Garrett go from the Browns to the Rams. So June 1 is when you kind of get a wave of things, and it looks like it's starting early as the Rams are going to acquire one of the best, if not the best, pass rushers in the National Football League, and certainly make their team a lot better.
Yeah. Did you look at the odds up?
Yeah, I was pulling those up. The favorite to win the Super Bowl, according to DraftKings, is in fact the Los Angeles Rams at plus 650. The Seahawks, Bills, and Ravens are plus 1,000. The Eagles and Chiefs are plus 1,500. The Patriots, Chargers, and Packers are plus 1,600. The 49ers and Texans are plus 1,700.
All right, give me the top 8.
I just did, basically.
Okay.
Detroit's plus 1,800. The Titans are plus 12,000, in case you were wondering. The worst odds, take a guess.
Cardinals.
Yep, plus 40,000.
Are the Dolphins right in front of them as well?
Plus 30,000.
Oh, geez, Louise.
So if you bet $1 on the Cardinals to win the Super Bowl, you would win $400.
And you'd also be a blooming idiot. There's no way in Hades. I get it. That's why they call it gambling and all that. But there you go. I mean, there's a top 8. Texans aren't winning the Super Bowl. I mean, that's just the Lions are not winning the Super Bowl. I mean, you already know the teams that are there, and the Rams have solidified what they did.
I don't even think the Ravens are. No. I don't think the Bills are.
No, the Giants signed Odell Beckham. I don't know why. I mean, he's been pretty insignificant in the last couple of years as well. I don't get all that.
I think
he broke or something. He's coming back for money. Yeah.
I think it's legitimately the Rams, the Seahawks, the Chiefs, because they're the Chiefs, and I think they come back. Maybe the Patriots. I mean, if the Patriots add AJ, maybe.
No, they had. You
there's
saw
too
the
much
thing.
there.
They had the easiest schedule since 2007. With what went on, they're not getting back.
Of the teams that have longer odds, one that I would maybe look at, the Green Bay Packers.
With LaFleur there, no.
What about the Bears?
The Bears, maybe. I mean,
they're plus 2,500.
Only problem is they play in the NFC versus the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Niners. That's the problem.
Right.
I mean, the AFC is much easier. Who's the AFC team? I do. We've talked about this with the Chiefs. I think this is their last rodeo. They're going to do everything I'm shocked the Chiefs didn't go after Myles Garrett, something like that. They're going to go everything they can to get through the Super Bowl because this is the last rodeo. So that's one AFC team. Other than that, I don't think the Broncos are going to try. I just don't think they're going to be there, man.
Yeah, you may be right. Real quick, let's our question of the day: worst summer job. We have a few phone calls on this. John wants to weigh in. John, what you got?
Well, I grew up in a single parent household, and I was in colleges in the mid '80s, and I had a lot of fun in college. So I come home, and my mother says, "Well, I've got you a good summer job," and I said, "Okay." She said, "Well, you need to go to this certain roofing company, and they're expecting you there in the morning at 6 o'clock." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." That's exactly what I did. Worst job I've ever had, but I got through college. She kind of broke me from a lot of things I was doing in college. And I got through, graduated, got my master's degree, but it was because of her. So, And also on the Rams, hey, I've been a Rams fan since Roman Gabriel was quarterback, so go Rams.
Attaboy, former NC State Wolfpack guy. Thanks for the call, buddy.
Yeah, he passed away not too long ago, and I've still got a Sports Illustrated poster of him in my house. So that tells you how far I go back with him.
Isn't his NFL record, has the most fumbles for a quarterback of all time? I think so, but he was good.
Now, see, why you won't bring that up for, Joe?
Because I'm full of useless knowledge, man. Thanks, John.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
By the way, did you see that Raymond Berry passed away at the age of 93.
I did. It's the first thing in my notes. Raymond Berry moved to Murfreesboro 2003 or 4. We did a long interview with him in 2006. And one of the best receivers all time in football. Unfortunately, he was the head coach when the Bears beat the snot out of the Patriots in that 85 season, the Super Bowl. But he was great, man. I talked to him for hours about football, the Patriots, everything that just went on with football, man. And he was he's a damn living legend. That's a huge loss. So, yeah, lived in Murfreesboro the last 20-something years.
Oh, wow. Tommy in Lebanon wants to weigh in on our worst summer job. What you got, Tommy?
Well, there was always a debate between myself and my brother on who had the worst summer job. I'll start with mine. I worked part-time at KOA Campground back when I was in junior college, and part of the job was cleaning up, emptying trash cans, driving what they called the honey wagon. That's where the campers would dump their tanks of dirty water into a receptacle, and then I would come around in this big truck with a suction unit and a pump it out, take it and dump it. Well, it's kind of a 2 or 3 step process. You take the hose from the pump on the ground and you put it up in the hole on top of the truck. Then you go back down, you prime the pump. The pump gets primed, and then you throw the switch. Well, I was on top of the truck, sticking the hose down into the hole, and the owner's daughter, who was a classmate of mine, came by and says, well, I'll help him. And she threw the switch before I had the pump, before I had it dropped completely into the hole, and kaboom, there went all this quote unquote brown water all over me. That is the reason. That's the reason today that I don't wear a wristwatch. That broke me from wearing a wristwatch. Now, my brother had a job where he worked for the state of Tennessee in the summers, and he rode on what they called the dead wagon.
Oh, no.
Riding up and down the interstate with pitchforks and shovels, picking up dead animals off the interstate. So I don't know who had the worst job, but those are 2 pretty bad ones right there.
Tommy, you did. I'll give it to you because anytime that's on me.
I don't know if that one's going to be beat.
Right. Sorry, Tommy.
Have a good day, man.
All right, buddy.
Thank you for the call.
That's the great Hall of Fame sports writer, Tommy Bryan. Big fan of the show. Good to hear from you, Tommy.
Very nice. Yeah, that's
so you work for your dad. I had my worst. Dr. Crane, come on. Have you had a bad summer job? I mean, you just got out of high school.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, here's the summer job. You're going to look at me like, that's not a summer job. I watered flowers for Miss Robinson up the street in the cul-de-sac before. No, hear me out. Before I had to go to football practice. I never got to have a true summer job until I was done playing football because I had to go to 2-a-days and 3-a-days.
I played. I had a job.
Well,
rich people, poor people. That's how you determine.
Wow,
That's
you're
keep going.
really gonna
just keep.
He likes to do
That's
that.
a low blow, Joe.
Just keep going.
Wow. Anyways, I would get up at 5:30, water the plants. She had koi fish. I may have, done some of the koi fish by accident.
Excuse me?
No.
I've
Done the koi fish.
No, I maybe overfed them, and one of them bellied up, and I was like, oh boy.
Belly.
I felt so bad. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Did you replace it with another one? This sounds like a Simpsons episode.
No, I did. I asked my dad, like, should I replace it with like a goldfish? He goes, nah, it'll just eat the rest of them. And I'm just like, that's true. The koi fish are pretty big. So I did not end up replacing the fish.
Okay. Did sweet Mrs. Robinson ever notice?
I may have found out once or maybe, I don't know.
Did you ever see the movie The Graduate?
No.
And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know.
This sounds like The Graduate 2015 version.
She's a sweet lady, though.
I bet she was. You need to watch this movie.
I don't know if I want to.
You do need to watch The Graduate.
If you don't mind. Chase, was that you that played that?
That was me. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The Graduate, Dustin Hoffman.
Yes. Starring Nick Frazier. You need to your assignment this week is to watch The Graduate.
Okay, noted.
It's a great movie.
It's a great.
Like it is a
movie.
fantastic. It's one of those like you definitely should
It's a
watch it.
coming of age movie there, buddy.
That's a
Is it
great way to
like
put it.
the one from Seinfeld where he rents the movie and it's what was it? The lady from Minsk, right?
No, not even close.
Rochelle? No.
No, this is different. By the way, what did you get paid? Like a quarter?
No, I got paid decent. It was like enough for gas along with like a meal at Sonic. So it was probably about $80 a week.
So it wasn't like that episode of The Simpsons where Bart, basically like does all this work and gets a quarter.
No. I got paid like $80 to $100 a week. It was fine.
Okay,
For me, that's enough. At the time when I was in high school, I mean, I was going to practice 2 times a week, and then when we went to not Bell Buckle, but we went to Owensboro, Kentucky.
Right.
I mean,
So the Simpsons episode Chase is referring to, she gives Bart, he does all this landscaping. She gives him a quarter. So Bart turns around and starts bitching at her, right? It's a great dialogue. At the end, Bart says, no matter what, lady, I'm never going to say thank you. And the old lady says, well, you're welcome. And Bart gets so mad, he just storms out. It's a great episode.
It's one of the rare times where he goes, don't.
Right. So there you go. Watering and killing koi fish. Great job there, Val.
Didn't do it on purpose. It was just one of them. It was 4.
Did you scoop it out?
No, there was like it was like a chicken wire fence above the koi fish because she had a dog, and still has the dog, I think, Ginger, and was like, yeah, we're not gonna put the dog around the koi fish.
How old is this dog?
Maybe 15. It only has 3 legs. It had cancer. They got rid of one of the legs, and now it goes up.
Still
and down
going
the street.
strong, right?
Yeah.
Nick, I say that like I truly mean this. You are the most fascinating person I've ever met.
Right, he is.
I should come drive down my street. It's a pretty interesting neighborhood.
Is the chicken wire still up with the koi fish and all that stuff there?
Absolutely. I'm sure they've done some renovations to that little flower patio area.
You ever get invited down for sweet tea?
No.
Okay.
No, Joe.
Well, here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
Oh my gosh.
She used to be a teacher, actually.
Oh, I bet
in
she
the
did.
metro area. So.
Yeah. No doubt, man. You are. I agree with Chase. You're fascinating.
615-737-1025. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 The Game for live shows and exclusive content. There's already been a blockbuster trade in the NFL. Could another one happen? Jeremy Fowler from ESPN joined Next Man Up earlier today with Jake Lyman and Parker Kelly and talked about a former Titan that could be on the move. We'll discuss that coming up next. It's Chase and Big Joe, 1025 The Game.
could happen at any point after 4:01 p.m. today, or after 4 o'clock, and that's when the post June 1st designation kicks in, which means the teams can prorate their salary cap hit or their dead salary cap hit on a big contract with a cut or a trade. So New England's highly motivated to do this. They want to do it. They plan to do it, but they have to find out the trade terms, get them solidified. You know, I think there's probably been a wink-wink situation with all this. You know, they just they do have to get to the finish line, though, and I do think he'll end up being probably a 2028 first-round pick, and they'll go from there. I think New England will probably try to get something back to sort of assuage having to give up the one. But, you know, A.J. Brown, look, despite him getting a little older and having a down year and some of the issues in Philly, he's still considered a top 10 receiver. So this would be a major boon for New England.
ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler, who joined Jake Lyman and Parker Kelly today on Next Man Up. Good get by them. Talking about A.J. Brown, chasing Big Joe 102.5 the game. I mean, I think we've all known this was probably going to happen. It's just a matter of when and what the price is going to be to see A.J. Brown reunite with Mike Vrabel in New England.
And to take on that headache, good for Mike Vrabel. Maybe he needs a diversion, a distraction to figure something else out.
He's got enough headaches right now.
Right. Well, here's another one for you. I mean, look, they all know that, and look, good for him. I mean, he's a heck of a player when he's engaged, and he has shown that wherever he goes, he's just not going to be completely engaged. I mean, reading the book on the sidelines, bitching it hurts because you're not getting the ball thrown. And I understand that. I mean, you want to do things, but isn't the goal to win games? I mean, I get so tired of this nonsense with players these days. I mean, you're 1 of 11 on offense, man. Whether you catch a pass or not, as long as your team wins, you're getting there. And so he'll go to New England. He'll do the same thing up there. He'll cause. And look, if you got a good quarterback in Drake May up there, and, A.J. Brown's going to think he's going to run through him and tell him what to do. I think this could end bad. But nobody's asking me, man.
So from a football player standpoint, I mean, how much better does he make New England?
If he's engaged, a hell of a lot better. I mean, he's a great receiver. But what happens when Drake May throws behind him and then he goes to the sideline and just rips him apart? I mean, it just doesn't happen. I mean, Jerry Rice never did that. Chris Carter never did that. To that level. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see how this all plays out, but I think it'll end up being a disaster.
So this is what New England, has right now, receiver-wise. Kayshon Boutte from LSU kind of came on last year. A couple of guys I've never heard of. Romeo Dobbs, they signed him from the Packers. Mac Hollins, who's old. I mean, they don't have a lot. So you add AJ, and it's a different ball game. But I agree with you. He's got to be engaged. Vrabel got that out of him early in his career, but a lot's changed since then. So can he continue to do that? I mean, time will tell. But it seems like this has just been destined for a long time.
No, and look, if he can look, AJ, when he is engaged, when he's all in, he's fantastic. So if Mike Vrabel can make him be all in and engaged 80% of the time, it's great. Then again, they're giving up a first rounder. And look, I think you're going to see more and more of this about giving up the first rounders on and on because of the success the Rams are having. So good for the Patriots. If they get an AJ up there about 4 or 5 years, let him do his thing, that's fine. But can he do that? I mean, can Vrabel, being the player whisperer, get it to the next level? We'll find out and see.
On the Rams again, Wes asked this on our text line, and I've seen this floating around on Twitter. Would Aaron Donald considered coming out of retirement, knowing that now he could play with Myles Garrett? He's 35, and all indications are he's still in fantastic shape.
That's the thing. He's in shape. He's not in football because he's dropped a bunch of weight and strength. He's still in shape and looks great. No, why? No, it'd be like Mike Fisher coming back in 2019. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just, you won a Super Bowl. You're great, man. You're a legend. Don't do it. Don't be like Jordan with the Wizards and that 1 year Mike Fisher came. Just go, man. Go. You did well.
Let's see, so he retired, was it 23? Yeah. 23 was his last year.
Well, I mean, what do you got? Do it. You got your Super Bowl. We know how great you are. You don't need to do this.
Yeah. I don't think he will. But I mean, it's fun to throw out there.
Yeah,
For
and
you know, for
that's
fans.
fine. Yeah, to do all that, I just think that now they've got him, and he can just sit back and watch and enjoy. He's made millions.
Yeah.
Like go out and blow your knee out, or don't worry about it, man. Just enjoy it.
Coming up next, Terry McCormick, Titan Insider from Main Street Media, is going to join us. We'll get his thoughts on OTAs to this point, and also could the Titans consider making more moves here in the offseason? We'll do that next. Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel on 102.5 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Monday. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin, Nick Frazier with you. And let's talk some Titans. Terry McCormick, Titan Insider, and also Main Street Media joining us now on the program. Terry, what's up? How you doing?
Sitting through watching rain showers today.
I know that's kind of been the theme as of late, but when it's July and it's 100, we probably won't complain. So that's just kind of how it goes. First, let's get your reaction to the big trade that is out there. Myles Garrett going from the Browns to the Rams, Jared Verse coming back, and also some picks involved, but a blockbuster trade on June 1.
Yeah, that is huge. I mean, Myles Garrett has long been regarded as one of the best pass rushers in the league. You know, Jared Verse is no slouch himself, but the Rams, who, you know, I heard Joe was talking about it earlier, they're in win now mode, and they've been in win now mode for several years, it feels like. And, you know, you have a chance to go add a guy like Myles Garrett who can bring another dynamic element to your defense. You absolutely have to go and do it because, you know, the window with Matthew Stafford is not getting any wider. It's probably got another year or two left at most. So you capitalize on that while you can. Myles Garrett, you know, the interesting thing, though, that the one thing that would make me wonder about this, though, is that Myles Garrett has been in Cleveland his entire career where, you know, he's going to get his 13, 14, 15 sacks a year most times. But there's never been any real pressure to win because the Browns always find a way to go, you know, 5-12. So, but now coming to the Rams, even though there's going to be a much better supporting cast around him, there's going to be the expectation that he's going to be the piece that puts them over the top. So that's going to be interesting to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. June 1 always brings some moves because you have the post June 1st cuts and trades and things like that. Could you see the Titans doing anything else with this roster, like anything significant, or do you think that they're going to ride with what they got pretty much until training camp?
I think they'll probably ride with what they got. There's a chance that they could always add somebody before training camp starts, especially if they don't like what they see out of these interior offensive linemen or backup tackles and things like that, because, you know, that certainly is an area that the Titans have struggled at for several years. And, you know, they want to create competition. Well, you know, the guys that they have in, you know, don't exactly, when you look at it on paper, they don't exactly elicit a lot of excitement among the fans and among people around the league, is, you know, that they can, well, these guys are going to be average at best. So anything that you could add in the way of a cap cut from another team, or maybe a veteran free agent out there on the O-line, I wouldn't put it past them to do that before camp.
Talking to Terry McCormick from Main Street Media, TitanInsider.com. Terry, we've seen this now with the Rams trading away their first-round pick. They did it last year, again, the guy from Kansas City. You know, now rumor is the Patriots want A.J. Brown giving away their first-round pick. I think the success of the Rams, Terry, with giving that first-round pick up and getting a known commodity is doing very well for the teams. Could this be a slight trend? Because if you look at it, how many of your first rounders actually hit? A third of them, right? So could this be a process like, all right, I'm going to get a guy who's been in the league 4 years. I know what I got out of him. I'm not sure what my first round pick's going to do. So let's do this. And it's worked well for the Rams.
Yeah, it has. And here's the other thing too about that, Joe, you know, and not that first round picks in the top 5, top 10 don't miss. They miss all the time. We see it all the time. But if you're in a position that the Rams are in, and that first round pick, you're winning 12, 13 games a year. That first round pick is going to be 25 to 32, somewhere in that range. So absolutely the guy that you're getting that's the known commodity is probably going to be better than pick number 25.
Right.
But, you know, if it's the Browns that are making that trade and that pick might be number 3, you know, then, you know, maybe the third pick is more valuable, especially in the situation that they're in, because they're a team that's not ready to win the Super Bowl. But I like the Rams' philosophy as the window's open now. Let's keep adding pieces. I like that philosophy for the teams that are already there. The teams that are not there, they're the ones that have to build through the draft and need the draft capital.
Well, you're right. I mean, the Titans go 9-8 and they're drafting 15th, but there's a linebacker out there that they really like who's going into his 4th or 5th year. I'd trade that number 15 pick to give me that linebacker who I've seen on tape what he could do. I never thought I'd like this mindset, but I do. And they always say, well, build through the draft. If the Titans could get 3 guys from this draft to stick around in 4 years, that's pretty damn good. And so you shoot your shot with all this, but give me the known commodity. And the Rams are doing this, and they've had nothing but success.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially, profitable for teams that do that are already contending. And the Titans, like I said, they're in a situation where they've got to build back because the last 4 years, and you're right, very rarely does a draft yield 4 to 5 really good players. The Titans did it in 2019 with Jeffrey Simmons, A.J. Brown, Amani Hooker, and so on down the line.
Right.
But that's rare because you look even as recently as the 2023 draft, when they took Peter Skoronski in the first round, Will Levis in the second round, and Tajay Spears in the third round. You've got 3 guys left from like a 7-man draft class that's all you have on the roster, and only one of those is a bona fide starter.
You're right. Hey, Chase brought this up the other day, and I found this intriguing. Von Miller is still out there. He had a very productive season last year for the Commanders. Could they take
9 sacks?
Yeah. Would you be okay if the Titans took a flyer on this guy?
Oh, I'd be fine with it. I'd be fine with it because Robert Saleh has already told you, multiple times, he's going to dress 8 or 9 guys. He's going to rotate guys in. And so Von Miller's not going to have to play 45, 50 snaps at his age. He's going to play 15 to 20 snaps. And if he can get you 8 or 9 sacks, absolutely do it. Now, the question is this, though. I mean, and granted, he played for the Commanders, who were a massive disappointment last year, but they were expected to be good. Is he going to want to roll the dice and play for a team that's not expected to be very good? He's probably holding out for the chance to go play for a team that could get to the Super Bowl.
Terry, I had the opportunity yesterday at the Nashville Super Speedway to do a Q&A with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. They were there promoting the Bustin' with the Boys, and we were up on the stage, and obviously I had a chance to ask them about the Titans. He feels like the Titans could be a playoff team, and he said the reason that he feels that way is they have a legitimate coaching staff from top to bottom, that he really likes the head coach, he really likes the offensive coordinator, he likes what they're doing on defense. Will added that as well. And I think it's a long shot. We all probably look at it that way. But what does it say about the moves the Titans have made to get that kind of optimism from former players that there could actually be something there?
Yeah, I think that certainly is encouraging. And I think that this coaching staff certainly brings a lot more experience than the previous staff did. And no intended disrespect to Brian Callahan and Nick Holtz and Denard Wilson and all those guys that were with that staff. But when you go back and you look at it, and I'm going to take this in a slightly different direction. When you go back, what did the Titans sell us on in 2024 when they had Rand Carthon as the new GM, they had Brian Callahan as the new head coach, and they were building a team around what they thought was a franchise quarterback in Will Levis? They said this is going to be a competitive rebuild. And they brought in guys like Calvin Ridley. They brought in L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie, Lloyd Cushenberry. The list goes on and on and on. Spent bukus of money, and they said this is going to be a competitive rebuild. But what you had a first-time head coach and play caller. You had a first-time offensive coordinator, a first-time defensive coordinator, and at the time, a first-time special teams coordinator because that was before Bones Fossil got here. And you had a quarterback who had had a decent half of a season, who essentially was still a rookie because he was going to be learning a new offense. Well, when everything imploded, and everybody was like, oh, my gosh, how bad is this team? Well, part of the problem was at the time they sold everybody on this was going to be a competitive rebuild when in reality it wasn't a competitive rebuild at all because there were too many first time this, first time that going on. So then a year later they draft Cam Ward and what do they tell us? Oh, we're doing a complete rebuild. Well, yeah, that's what you should have told us the year before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Let me ask you, Terry. I've seen all the video of Carnell Tate making the one-handed catch over. That's all great and fantastic. Is there a different vibe? You're over there. I haven't been over there. with the practice. Is the tenacity a little bit higher than it was with that damn daycare Brian Callahan had? Can you sense a difference?
I can. And I'll say this about Carnell Tate. You're exactly right. He's got to prove it on the field. He's got to prove it, once the lights come on and the games are being played. But from what I've seen of him just out there running around in shorts and catching passes, he does give me a little bit of that flash that he's different, that
Good.
he's somebody that can immediately make some type of impact. Joe, you probably remember when Javon Curse got here and how he looked different. And I'm not comparing Carnell Tate to Javon Curse and the impact that the Freak had his first year here. But sometimes you just sense that guys are different.
Right.
And I get the sense that Carnell Tate may have that quality.
Well, I said last week, and you're one of the few people that understand this story. Remember Joel Filani?
Yes.
Paul Williams? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like these guys at camp are fantastic. They were awful in a game. And I'm not saying Carnell Tate's there. I'm just saying let's slow down on his one-handed catch and how great he was, because I saw Joel Filani make some major league wonderful catches in camp. Remember Paul Williams was on the practice squad for 5 years. Like, this guy is great. It just never, I was like, all right. So until I see it, and I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, I get that, but I need to see that versus the Jags, versus the Tech, game 1 versus the Jets. I need to see it then before I stand on the soapbox like this is the guy. But I understand the enthusiasm. I get it.
You both know
I
this.
agree with you.
You both
I
know
agree
this. If he Terry, sorry to interrupt. If he goes for like 100 yards and a touchdown or whatever in his first game, this city's going to lose its mind.
Sure they are. And then he's going to get double covered the very next week on every play.
Right.
But
Right.
that's neither here nor there. I get exactly what you're saying, Joe, because I remember one year in training camp a long time ago, Justin Hunter was just making every defensive every defensive back the Titans had. He was just going up over him and catching him. He was looking like the second coming of 1998 Randy Moss. He was just dominating. And we're like, wow, Justin Hunter's going to be really good. Well, it turns out the Titans had the worst secondary in the league that year, and Justin Hunter was just an average receiver.
Yeah. And look, I hope Tate is an all-pro. Hope this team goes 14-3, gets to the playoffs. I've just seen it before, and where it turns out the worst has been better than the good. And I hate saying that, but I saw the videos. Everybody's like, oh, I'm losing my mind. He's the greatest thing ever. I just got to see it week 1, man. And that's all it is. That's all. I just got to see it week 1.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. But, I will say this. From what I've seen of him in the work, athletically, he looks different than a lot of the guys that I've seen come through here. And that's a feather in his cap. Now let's see what he does with it.
No, I'm with you. Know what? Adam Humphries, when he came in, when Robinson signed him from the Bucks, he was great at camp. And then he got popped, had the concussion, and it was like he was never the same. I hope that doesn't happen to Carnell Tate. But look, I'd rather you be good at practice than you coming on like, my gosh, this guy's dropping everything that's thrown to him. I understand that because we've seen it before. But yeah, I just think things are moving a lot. They're trending so well now in a different direction that we've seen the last 3 or 4 seasons that I think a lot of people have the right to be excited.
I think so. But then, I try not to have unbridled enthusiasm when it comes to this franchise, just because, as you know, they've let people down so many times
Right.
before. Like, I'll believe it when I see it. Like I said, I think Carnell Tate has a chance to be a really good player for this team. But, I've got to see, there's so much more that goes into it than just him. Is Cam Ward going to have enough time to get him the football, or is he going to be running for his life like we've seen quarterbacks here do the last 2 or 3 years? That's a part of it too.
Well, and the thing on that, one thing Taylor Lewan brought up yesterday, they started clicking as an offensive line when they brought in a guy named Ben Jones. I don't think this team has a Ben Jones right now, and that's what scares me.
No, I would agree with that. And I think that's something that they've been trying to replace ever since Ben Jones left. this team still has not replaced Ben Jones and still has not replaced Taylor Lewan. And that's part of the big reason why they're not where they are.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Terry, appreciate it as always. We will talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That is Terry McCormick, Main Street Media Titan Insider. Check out his work there. I think a part of the reason that there is optimism is everybody looks at the general manager and thinks this team actually has a real general manager for the first time in a long time. That was something that was brought up today when Jeremy Fowler was on Next Man Up. You'll hear his comments on that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
right? We're seeing him all over the league have success. So he's got pedigree. He can go get it. He's got enough speed, but really works hard, all those things. So it's a good first round pick for them to sort of build off of. And, I like some of the free agent additions. They make sense. John Franklin Myers, even though you had to pay a lot for him, he makes a lot of sense in that system. Familiarity with Robert Saleh. And look, he zigged when everybody thought he would zag, right? With the Matt Nagy situation. I think the telegraph during the coaching carousel was that Borgonzi wanted Nagy. Well, they went with who they felt was the best man, which was Saleh. So, Saleh created a lot of late momentum in the process. So, so he really, Borgonzi is proving to be somebody who is just trying to make sound decisions that are best for the team, no matter the implication or the sort of expectation that others had. He's trying to make the best decision.
That was Jeremy Fowler on Next Man Up earlier today from ESPN. And the league, talking about the league view of the Titans. Jason Big Joe 102.5 The Game. So what do you think about that? Mike Borgonzi, everything seems to be centering around Mike Borgonzi.
So this guy's the league voice now? He speaks to everybody?
Well, he's very connected to the league.
He's not going to come on a national radio show and say Borgonzi's the worst. Look, I need to see on the field. That's great. They're doing all the right things. I need to see wins. I need to see progression. I need to see not 5 wins. I need to see 8 or 9 wins. I need to see that moving forward. I think a lot of people agree. We've been talking about this last couple of years about they got this and that, and they're on the recruit move, and blah, blah, blah. I got to see it now. I want to see upward mobility, winning games that they should be winning, not losing games that they should be winning. And that's great. Borgonzi's great. We know what he's done. We know he's built. You and I are big Saleh fans. We were so happy they hired this guy because he's bringing this fire and this tenacity and this aggression to football, which they should be fired up for this. And Terry said things you seem a little. I like where it's going. Now just don't go 2-15. I mean, we've seen it before, and I don't need to see that. I need to see what happens on the field, and that's great. Everybody feels good about Borgonzi, but I'm telling you, man, all this excitement. If you drop an egg this year and you're 4-13, not better than you were the last 2 years, then who knows, man? That's a whole nother show, whole nother problem you got to deal with. But hopefully they can get it done this year and get something moving forward. And everybody's like, well, 9-8 is going to be – I don't understand well, let's go 8-9, 9-8. Why not say, hey, let's get our tail in the playoffs. Let's fight like crazy to get in the playoff. I need to hear that instead of the 8-9, 9-8.
I know it's crazy to think, hey, they can make the playoffs because of where they've been. That's how I feel. Like, I don't think they're close until I see something completely different.
Right.
But if Carnell Tate is the real deal, if Cam Ward is the real deal, if the defense is truly better and Jeffrey Simmons continues to play like he did last year, and if this coaching staff is the real deal, then even though you may not have the strongest roster, those pieces are going to elevate the weaker pieces.
You hope.
Maybe they could.
You hope.
But we have to see that. Like, none of us are going to sit here and say, hey, I think this is a playoff team because we've seen what we've seen.
Yeah, that's why
they've won 6 games in 2 years.
That's why some have laughed at us when I said the most important game for the history of this franchise is that Jets game.
Yeah.
Because it's the next game. Somebody's like, wow, the Super Bowl is the most. That's in the past. That's right. That Jets game. You go out and it's a home game, and you pound the Jets and you win and you look great. Man, week 2 when you come back, who comes in here week 2? I forget.
Eagles.
Okay. Nissan Stadium will go back to 1999, 2000 noise level. And I know a lot of Eagles fans will come to town, but Titans fans are ready to win. They're ready to cheer. They're tired of looking at other teams having fun. You go out and you dismantle the Jets week 1. When Philadelphia rolls in week 2, they're going to have a fight on their hand because you're going to be feeling good about what you are. That's why that game against the Jets is so damn important, that they got to go out and not only win, but they got to win solidly. They got to win powerful. They got to go out and I know it's the Jets. I get that. But, man, you feel good. Then week 2, the Eagles come in here. I mean, that place will be loud. You remember how loud it was in 99 and 2000?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was on that field in 99 when the Rams came in here at 6-0. I couldn't talk to the guy next to me. It was that loud. And hell, that stadium holds 30,000 less than Neyland Stadium. And it was just as loud that day because fans were fired up. That's what you got to get back to, winning the home field advantage. And you have not had that in a long time now. That's why I want that win versus the Jets to be that important, that powerful, that monumental, where you move into week 2. It's like, all right, then hell, what if you win week 2, right? You're 2-0. I know you got to play the Giants in week 3, but
if you win week 1, I mean, look, I don't think the Eagles are going to be all that great. They're about to trade their best receiver.
Yep. I mean, so there's a lot to be there. That's why
I don't think things are great in the city of brotherly love right now.
Well, everything should be focused on week 1 versus the Jets in so many ways possible to go out there and get it done and see what happens. And that's why that game is so huge. There's so many ramifications of winning that game. Now, the flip side, you lose that game to a terrible team like the Jets, then it's like, oh my God, here we go again. And then you let the Eagles fans come in week 2, no telling what happens. Just win week 1. Don't worry about anything else throughout the regular season. Win week 1. We got to see it.
So what you're saying is they need to win Salah.
All right, cut his microphone. He's working from home today. Can you do that? That's actually pretty good. I'll give you that.
Probably not.
By the way, we have the full compensation now. It is official. The Browns are trading Myles Garrett to the Rams for Jared Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, and a 2029 third-round pick. That is coming from Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Adam Schefter.
Oh, my goodness. It's pretty good.
That is the trade. By the way, since 2016, do you know how many first-round picks the Rams have had?
I think, is it 1?
It is 3.
3, okay.
2 of them are named Jared.
Jared Verse and Jared, what's the other one?
Goff.
Jared Goff. You're right. God dang it.
And then Simpson, this year. So 2016, Jared Goff, who was traded in the Matthew Stafford deal. 2017, none. 18, none. 19, none. 20, none. 21, none. 22, none. 23, none. 2024, they drafted Jared Verse, who just got traded in the Myles Garrett deal. None in 25, and then Ty Simpson in 26.
And in that time, they've been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, and been one of the top teams in the league.
Yep.
When we come back, the College Football Hall of Fame put out their ballot. And Chase, there's one guy who's not in the Hall of Fame that I am shocked. And it's a local guy that's not in the College Football Hall of Fame. I am shocked this guy's not in. And I'm actually a little bit pissed about it.
Okay. We will talk about that coming up next. Again, it is Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel. Hey, boxing fans, 1025 The Game and Team Boxing League have your chance to win tickets to see the Nashville Smash take on the Atlanta Attack at Municipal Auditorium Friday, June 12th. Just text the keyword FIGHT, F-I-G-H-T, to the game text line at 615-737-1025 to enter for your chance to win now. Oh, hell yeah. Chasing Big Joe on 2-5 the game on this Monday. All right. You have a college football Hall of Fame snub.
So the ballots came out for the 2026-27 class of college football Hall of Fame. And there's a bunch of guys on here that are all deserving. And look, I get some guy, like, for example, before I get to this guy, like Drew Bennett, okay, was an average college football player, got an opportunity in the pros and became, was amazing, right, for this time here. So a guy like Drew Bennett's never going to be on this college football. Like, what you do in the pros doesn't determine what you do in college and vice versa, right? It's the way it goes. So there's a guy on here that it might be one of the best linemen of all time in the NFL. He was this good in college. And the fact that Bruce Matthews is not in the College Football Hall of Fame just absolutely blows my mind. And I mean,
I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm looking at everything he did in the pros. He
Where'd
did
he
in
go?
college.
A&M?
USC.
USC. Duh.
His son went to A&M. Jake went to A&M. Right. And I'm like, how is he not in the Hall of Fame? Like, there's a lot of, like, Andy Levitre's on this list. Was great at Oregon State, right? Is he deserving? I don't know. But that's just, there's a lot of guys on it. Here's an example, guy you've never heard of. I remember this guy well, played at Auburn. A guy named was Ed King. Ed King was an offensive guard at Auburn, was a 2-time first-team All-American at Auburn. Was
He was
terrible.
a great guitar player for Leonard Skinner.
He was a terrible player in the National Football League. Terrible. So he's not going to make the NFL Hall of Fame. But these are some of these guys like, oh, I've never heard of him. What do you do in the pros? Doesn't matter. It's what they did in college. And Bruce Matthews was amazing in college, one of the best linemen of all time in college. And it's crazy that Bruce Matthews is not on there. Also on this list, Josh Heupel is on the nominee to be the 26-27 college football. I don't think he's deserving to be in it, but I mean,
he was he was really good
for that 1 year. He was a runner-up in 2000, and they won the Big 12 Player of the Year, and he had a bunch of school passing records at a wishbone school back at the time. But it's the Bruce Matthews one, which just blows. I mean, he came out in 1982. It's not like he came out a week ago, and he's not in. And there, Willie Gault's on the list too. Probably not the Hall of Fame guy. Great player at Tennessee to do that. But it's just an interesting list to go down and see all these guys. Like, oh, okay, wait, what? This guy. So when the Bruce Matthews thing came by, I was like, whoa, Randall Cobb, Alcoa, Tennessee, played at Kentucky. He's on the list there as well. Kevin Carter, former Titan, played at Florida, is also there. And Rocky Kalmus, former Tennessee Titan linebacker, Oklahoma linebacker, was a great linebacker, was a Bacchus Award winner. Guy like that's deserving to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. So that list just came out today.
So Bruce is a nominee?
Bruce is a nominee. He hadn't even made it yet. And Dr. Crane and I did this discussion as well. Mike Leach is on this list, and we had a discussion that day where they, oh God, don't hate me, where they
I know where you're going with this.
where they lowered the percentage from 60% to 59.5% to get him in, and he qualifies. And I loved Mike Leach and what he brought to football. I'm not a fan of lowering standards. Remember, Dr. Crane, we had a lot of calls that day, and a lot of people agreed with us, which made me happy as well. But I'm not trying to win this argument. I'm not saying, hey, look at me. But that day, there was a lot of people like, yeah, I'm not a fan of lowering standards to get somebody in.
I mean, the phrase goes, the standard is the standard, and that's the standard.
Yeah. Well, and I think what happens with things like this is when somebody passes away, early, unexpectedly, then it opens the door for, okay, here's what they were doing. What would they have done? And is what would they have done good enough to be in the Hall of Fame? And should we count that? And that's a really tricky discussion to have.
Sure.
there's discussion now. Kyle Busch, who just passed away in NASCAR, should they waive the 2 years and go ahead and induct him into the Hall of Fame? That to me is easy because he's a Hall of Famer. He has the resume. The resume's been there. The resume it was always going to be there. So why wait 2 years? I have no issue with that. I think Tom Brady should have been put in the Hall of Fame the day he retired. But that's because it's clear cut that they are a Hall of Famer. I look at, and I it's tough to use this as an example, but this is the best one that comes to mind. Davey Allison was put in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Now, I believe that Davey Allison was a Hall of Famer.
Right.
But I believe he was a Hall of Famer based on what he did in a short amount of time and knowing that he probably would have done more of that as he would go along. And I think that was the tough conversation, but I think a lot of people felt that way. Like he won a lot in a short amount of time before he passed away. And, they looked at it as it was good enough to go in the Hall of Fame. Mike Leach, again.
And that's the problem is that you feel awful saying he doesn't deserve it. I mean,
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
He does it's don't lower the standards. I mean, they're there for a reason. And I hate it because we sound terrible doing that. And I don't want to be that way. By the way, congrats to our guy, Joe Campbell is also on this list, the ballot for the College Football Hall of Fame. 2-time All-American MTSU, guy went to Stratford, quite possibly the best running back I ever played against in my time. And Joe Campbell on the list. Also, Don Griffin, former MTSU defensive back, won a ton of Super Bowls with the 49ers on the list as well. So congrats to Joe Campbell and to Don Griffin being on there. But, yeah, the Leach thing is they've got his bio here, revolutionized football as a mastermind of the air raid offense. I mean, he did do all that. I mean, he was great. But there's a reason that says 60% and all that. And I'm not a fan of lowering the stick, because then it's like, well, so-and-so, Chase McCabe had 57.8 and he did this. Like, okay, we'll drop down and just, where does it end, right? Where does it stop?
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So Boots Donnelly from MTSU, Hall of Famer, right?
Absolutely.
And we agree that no doubt he's a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Okay. Do you think that we talk about the standard? Are the standards different for certain people based on the level in which they coached or played?
Absolutely.
Because he was not. They were what, Division I AA for his whole career.
Yep. Yeah.
So
you're right. You've probably never heard of Roy Kidd, right? The coach at Eastern
I've
Kentucky.
heard of him, but yeah.
I mean, instrumental, monumental coach, because he coached at the 1AA level does not put him down because he didn't do it in Division I. I mean, it does it. And I know a lot of guys in NAIA Division III, II, I, and all that stuff who qualify because that's the level they are. I mean, it's just get the opportunity to do that. And when you have the opportunity where you are, make the most out of it. And so Boots Donnelly's absolutely, he's in it, right? Didn't we find his name last year?
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, right. So if you meet the qualifications, I got no problem with it. I got no problem at all with you being here. And there's a lot of, like, here's the coaches on the list. Larry Coker was at Miami. Dennis Franchione's a good coach. Ralph Friedgen at Maryland. Mike Leach is on there. Jackie Sherrill. Tommy Tuberville's on the list to be in there. Now, do you think Tommy Tuberville is a Hall of Fame college coach? Quickly, go.
Probably not.
Yep. Jackie Sherrill? I do. I think Jackie Sherrill's a hell of a coach. Was with Pittsburgh and A&M. Did it in different levels. We see coaches like Ralph Friedgen's not a Hall of Fame coach to me. Larry Coker's not a Hall of Fame coach to me. So there's that you can look at and say, all right, well, yeah, I think here's the thing, Chase. I think when I mention a guy to you, if you have to think about it, they're not a Hall of Famer. Does that make sense?
They're Hall of really good.
They're all really good. So I think about
which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think sometimes you look at, like they're not a Hall of Famer, and it's like almost like that's a negative. Well, the Hall of Fame is supposed to be really hard to get into.
Right. All right. Here's a player for you. I'm gonna give you this player's name. You tell me if he deserves to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Cam Newton.
Yes.
Okay. I agree. I mean, the argument is he only did it for 1 year, but that 1 year, holy hell. I mean, he was one of the best players ever in that 1 year. I don't, but he's got to do it 3. This isn't the NFL. I mean, what Cam Newton did in 2010 was historic.
But here's so we agree on this, but here's the reverse of that. So based on that logic, should Gene Chizik be in?
That's a good one.
I say no, but I mean, but
no.
we look at players like Tim Tebow had 2 great years. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And I know he had others, but like 2 legitimate great years. Cam Newton had 1, and I think it's because for a player, you have a very small window, and so that if you have 1 really, really good year, it's probably going to get you in the Hall of Fame. For a coach, it doesn't work that way.
Right. All right. I'm going to give you a few more. I want your first reaction. Colt McCoy.
No.
Marshawn Lynch.
No.
All right. Here's a good one. Ryan Leaf.
Ooh. Eileen, yes.
I do too. I mean, in college, he was amazing. Really, really good. People are like, well, in the pro, that's not a pro argument. This is the problem.
Like, don't look at what they did in the NFL. That doesn't matter.
All right. Sebastian Janikowski.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, 2-time kicker, Florida State of the year.
There's an argument for him in the Pro Football Hall.
That's right. That's right. AJ Hawk.
I would need to look at his numbers.
I mean, 2-time All-American, Lombardi Award. Yes. I mean, he was pretty badass at Ohio State. So that's the thing. There's a lot of guys that are deserving, but it should be when I tell you his name, and if you know their resume, it should be like immediate, like, oh, okay. Oh, he's in, right? And then that's the thing. But there's a lot of guys on the list that you'll see, and there's so many on here too, like deserving. Ken Dorsey.
Yes.
See, I say no.
You say no?
Yeah, okay. It's just one of those things. Like
borderline.
Yeah. And on and on and on. So there's a lot of one of Tim Hasselbeck's guys, Matt Cavanaugh's on the. Matt Cavanaugh was a amazing quarterback at Pittsburgh. Great. But the thing now is like, well, look at the numbers. No, that's the problem. We look at the numbers compared to now to back then. It's totally different. Matt Cavanaugh was a great quarterback at Pitt, and he's going to get lost in the numbers. And then so anyway, it's just, I don't know how many they put in, but there's a lot of guys on this list that you look at like, oh, okay, that you think should be in the hall that you thought maybe are already in there. And so it's crazy.
I got a weird one for you. Should Steve McNair be in?
Yeah.
He shattered a ton of FCS records.
Is he not in?
I don't know. I mean, he may be, but I don't think he is.
Let's look that up. I don't know. I mean, he should be. I don't know why.
He is. He is. So I'm right. Okay. So he is.
Yeah.
He is in the college football.
It's the old Tom Brady line. It's the Tom Brady line. It doesn't matter where you are. Are you ready for the opportunity to go out there and be successful? So McNair, look, I watched him play at Alcorn State, and they played Samford in 1994. Alcorn State ran 71 plays. Steve McNair ran 70 of those, which means he passed or ran, and they couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
So at the level where you are you dominating at the level that you are? And McNair absolutely was. And whether you go Division II, Division III, on down, I don't think NIA qualifies for this. I don't think so anyway. But you see where you are, what you could do and get the job done. McNair did that at the time, the 1AA level. So that's it. Do you dominate there?
There's a name on our text line that is intriguing. I'll read that when we come back.
Sure.
A few people weighing in on this. 615-737-1025. Chase and Big Joe, 1025 The Game.
All right, hey guys, Big Joe here. It's my time of the show. We talk about our good friends over at unitycares.com. Look, we talk about mental health for guys all the time, and I love when you guys reach out to me. That means you care, you want to be here, and I need you to go to therapy. Therapy changed my life, and I want the same for you. If you are struggling and you got doubts and you go in that dark place, you got anxiety and depression, I've been there, man. Therapy changed it for me, and I want the same for you. unitycares.com is the one place to go to get the help that you need. Their main goal is to get you back living the life you absolutely deserve. And we need you guys here. I tell you all the time, our world's a better place because you are here. And that's why unitycares.com is so important. I know you got questions. You don't know where to start, what to do. We got you covered. That's why unitycares.com. Drop there on the webpage. Every question you need answered is right there for you. Listen, it's private, it's secure, it's confidential, it's affordable, and they offer telehealth. That's huge. And they're based right here in Middle Tennessee, not some faraway place. It's your friends and neighbors, man. And you don't have to go through any of this alone. That's the beauty of this. UnityCares.com has everything you need to get started, get back on the track of your life. Listen, and if you're a loved one that notices your loved one is going through some things, talk to them, sit down. Go to the webpage together and see what all that unitycares.com offers for you. Look, we love you. We tell you all the time that we love you, and being here is a great thing. Just go to the website, get the help. We love you guys. Please do that for us because we love talking to you. We love reaching out to you. We love your success stories, and unitycares.com is a big part of that. Visit them today, please, at unitycares.com.
Joe 1025 The Game here on this Monday. So here is the name that somebody threw out there for we're talking College Football Hall of Fame, and this whole discussion stemmed from Bruce Matthews being a nominee. He's not in. And a lot of people are disagreeing with us, saying Mike Leach should be in. So that's an interesting one. What about Marcus Mariota?
Ooh, I would say yes. I mean, he did a lot with Oregon that I feel like goes unnoticed.
Won the Heisman.
Yeah.
2014, unanimous All-American 2014.
I think that's the issue when it comes to college football and NFL is people gravitate their, NFL career and they just group it with their college career. It doesn't work like that. You really got to make sure you separate those. I'm all in for that, Chase. I think Marcus Mariota is one of those players that should be in the Mariota, excuse me, Joseph. Oh, glad you're back. Thanks.
So do you say yes?
Yes, I'm in the yes category.
Joe, do you say yes? Marcus Mariota, College Football Hall of Fame?
Yes. Yep. Took me a second, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, like the texter said, if McNair is in, I'm sure Marcus is too. He's not in yet, but he should be.
Yeah, I mean, as we see on this list, winning a Heisman Trophy doesn't, guarantee you a spot in there.
9,200 makes an interesting point because he thinks that Mike Leach is undoubtedly a Hall of Famer. It's not even close. He goes, I'm confused on how Mike Leach doesn't belong in the College Football Hall of Fame. He literally changed the offensive football in college. His philosophy and offenses were game-changing and impact most coaches throughout college football today.
There's a requirement. I don't know if you were listening. You have to win 60% of your games. That's the requirement. Leach was at 59.5 or 59 point something like that. He didn't qualify for the standard that the Hall of Fame had set. They lowered it down to get him in there. I love Mike Leach. I think he is so instrumental to the game of football. It's not even funny. But I didn't set the standards. I mean, the requirement 60%, and they lowered it down to put him in there. And that's the problem again. When you start, if you hear half the argument, like, well, you're a jerk for not wanting him in. It's not me. I didn't set the requirements for that. But if that's the requirement 60%, then you need to hit 60%. And he didn't do that. And so you feel awful saying he doesn't deserve to be in there, but that's what they put out there. So I don't know. It's a catch-22, man. Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Coming up next, we're going to talk to my old friend Nick Kale. He's the host of Kale and Company for Talk Radio 1210 WPHT in Philadelphia. He did mornings here on 102.5 The Game for a few years, and we worked together. We want to get the latest on what's going on in Philly with A.J. Brown and what could happen with the Eagles there. They're coming here in week number 2, so we will talk to Nick coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game, hour number 3 on this Monday. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier, on the ones and twos behind the glass as always. And this College Football Hall of Fame discussion has gotten a few names throughout there, which is interesting. But right now, we'll talk some NFL. It is June 1, and at 4 o'clock Eastern time, that is when the June 1 designation kicks in. And one guy that everybody's going to be paying attention to is A.J. Brown, former Titans receiver, now with the Eagles. Could he get traded to the Patriots with Mike Vrabel? To talk more about that, we're bringing my good friend Nick Kale, who used to do mornings here on 102.5 The Game. He's now back in Philadelphia, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. He's the host of Kale and Company, which is mornings. Nick, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Chase, Joe Dubin, good to see you, boys. How we doing?
It's been a minute. How's life in the city of brotherly love?
Oh, it's great. Life. We're going to have a FIFA World Cup coming up later this summer, so that's a big event. And all the talk radio hosts in Philadelphia can finally get their last A.J. Brown thoughts in because, you know, they've only been covering this story for months on end every single day. And now June 1 has arrived, and, you know, he could be on the move at any moment.
The years run together, but I want to say you were here when AJ was drafted, right?
That's correct. We went downtown. We were doing the draft show, and if you remember, I think you and I went to the Ole Miss Vandy game where we saw AJ Brown.
Yes,
and who was it? Was there another? There was another big receiver on that team, was there not?
DK Metcalf.
That's correct. How
Yep.
about that? There you
Yep.
go.
So you were here when he was drafted into the league and with the Titans, and then you've seen him the last few years in Philadelphia. Is he liked?
I think he is. I think he's just an odd guy, as a lot of wide receivers are, and you guys know football as well as anybody. The personalities typically are the guys the furthest away from the ball at the line of scrimmage. You know, for the most part, unless you're Jason Kelsey, the centers don't get much attention. They don't command a ton of attention, but guys like A.J. Brown do. But the thing that's been frustrating with this is we've seen this story before in Philadelphia. It's McNabb, T.O. all over again, except those two never got across the finish line and won a Super Bowl together. But A.J. Brown, I mean, I don't know what else you can ask for as far as being happy. He's got the stats. Now, I know the stats have fallen off because I think Jalen Hurts has regressed as a quarterback, but he's got the Super Bowl. He got a payday while he was here. He's got the two biggest statistical seasons in Eagles wide receiver history, and yet there's still this, I'm not truly happy because I'm not playing for, I don't know, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and I just feel like everything we hear, you know, about the Eagles, you know, from the 10,000-foot view is that even though they've won the Super Bowl, as you mentioned, it seems like nobody's happy with each other. And now, like, okay, what is Jalen Hurts? And I think that's always going to be a question of, you know, is he the elite of the elite, even though he wins? So that kind of feels like how the Eagles are viewed, you know, outside of Philadelphia. Is that the same there?
It is. I mean, there's so many people that want to try to figure out, you know, what's wrong with the offense, because a few years ago they were humming, clicking on all cylinders, but every single year Jalen Hurts has a new offensive coordinator. Every time you go 13-4 and make an NFC championship or a Super Bowl, you're going to have staff turnover, right? You have the hot offensive coordinator, the hot defensive coordinator. Now, obviously, that's not the case with their defense. Vic Fangio is up there in years as one of those, you know, grizzled veteran type D coordinators. But eventually, the onus falls on the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and Nick Sirianni. And it's kind of crazy to say because Nick Sirianni's close to 75-80% as far as his win rate in the NFL. And the same thing is with Jalen Hurts. I just feel like people have to stop expecting him to be one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks. Now, he could do that if he runs again and he's a dual threat, but he doesn't do that as much anymore other than the tush push. So I think people have to accept that he's probably anywhere from 7 to 12 if you're doing quarterback rankings.
Yeah.
And if you're winning, you know, 13 games a year and you have a top 8 or 9 quarterback, I mean, there's a lot of teams that would sign up for that.
Nick, take me back to the moment where A.J. Brown was reading that book on the bench, because I think that all started like, what the hell is going on there? And it was obviously he was upset he wasn't getting the ball, but I just thought that was just such a bizarre moment.
Yeah.
Like, can you come back for that? And I don't think he ever did.
I think you can come back from that, but you're right. He never did. And that's the reason why it feels like McNabb and T.O. It's this ultra passive aggressive, like I have a problem. I'm going to display it publicly that there's a problem. And then when I'm pressed on it in a media scrum in the locker room or after a game on a sideline, it's the PC team speak cliche stuff that we see all the time. And it's not just that. There was Jalen Hurts just got married and AJ Brown did not attend the wedding. Everybody's had their own thoughts as to, well, did Jalen Hurts invite AJ Brown? Did AJ Brown just turn it down? So there's clearly this disconnect, but they had been buddies for many years. They kind of came up around the same time. If you recall, I think Jalen Hurts was maybe a year later after he transferred from Alabama to Oklahoma. So this whole thing, I don't think there's any personal grievances. I think it's just AJ Brown wants to play for a team that will win, will pay him, and force feed him 15 targets every week. And even when Jalen Hurts is clicking, that's not going to happen in Philadelphia because they have Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert. They have a lot of people to feed.
Yeah, not only that, but here's the flip side of that, Nick. You're talking about when AJ Brown's good. I mean, he is really, really good. That's the problem.
Yep, you're right. And he's a guy that has shown no signs of decline. The tread on the tire is still very good. And, if they are able to ship him to New England, and I don't know that New England will give what Howie Roseman and the Eagles are asking for, I kind of get the feeling now that as this thing goes into the summer months, they will have to probably come off of their first round demand. Maybe they get a first round the following draft. I don't think they'll get what they originally want, which is a first rounder coming up in the next draft. But AJ Brown is absolutely still, if he's being fed the ball, he's still a top 3 to 5 receiver probably.
No doubt. Who was the linebacker for the Eagles that retired 2 years ago and he came back last year midseason?
That was oh God. Oh.
Well, the reason I'm bringing him up is that we were up there where MTSU was playing Delaware. We had to spend the night in Philadelphia. And that afternoon, he made the decision. He was coming back, and I cannot remember his name now.
Oh, Brandon Graham?
Yes, that's it.
Graham.
That's it.
Yep.
But it led every newscast. And I'm like, that is a sports city. Philadelphia is a sports city. When a linebacker who retired who's coming back, I mean, and they went like 5-7 minutes deep every newscast at the beginning about the return of Brandon Graham. I'm like, my God, they love the Philadelphia Eagles. Good or bad, they love this football team.
Yes, they do. They can't get enough of it. It's a religion up here. It is like college football in the South, except obviously here in the Delaware Valley, it's Eagles, 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 which is fascinating because you have a good baseball team in the Phillies. You have a Sixers team that, well, say what you want about them, but they're at least a playoff caliber team. The hockey team was really good this year, surprised a lot of people, but it's Eagles 24/7. The only thing that can actually top Brandon Graham getting 7 minutes after 15 years on a newscast is probably Jason Kelsey rolling out a lime-flavored beer with his brother Travis.
That's true. Nick Cale is with us. Looking at the Eagles, one thing that I saw them do at the draft was take Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt, who we saw the last 2 years, just tear it up with Diego Pavia as a tight end. And when I saw the Eagles take them, I'm like, man, that is such an Eagle. That is such a Howie Roseman pick.
Mm-hmm.
So is there hype with him of knowing how he might fit with Goddard and the rest of that offense?
I think there should be. Obviously, Goddard has been kind of on that retirement fence for the last year or two. The sad thing is in Philadelphia, most people don't watch SEC football, which I think is a criminal offense.
Which you do. We know you're Alabama guy.
These Delaware Valley, Philadelphia football fans, they rake leaves on Saturdays. They go to the mall. I'm the only guy in the entire city watching college football. But they should absolutely like Stowers because he was able to get the best of, it wasn't a Nick Saban defense, but an Alabama defense. What was it, 2 years ago when Vandy sprung the upset? So I think that would just be another great gadget because they've got 3 tight ends, they've got 3 receivers, they've got Barkley, and obviously when AJ Brown goes, it's going to be, I would think, more of a mass distribution. This guy's going to get 3 or 4 targets, this guy's going to get 3 or 4. I think it'll be a lot like when Stephon Diggs left the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen just started spreading the ball around.
Nick, real quick, there's a guy that was undrafted from Middle Tennessee State, Reed Blankenship, made the team up there. And I just heard Philly fans or Eagles fans fell in love with him. blue collar guy.
Yep.
He's now moved on to the Houston, but that's a guy that fits that city, right? I mean, undrafted, nobody really knew about him, and he comes up there and just kicks ass. And now he's moved on. But I just thought that was a great story with Reed Blankenship with the Eagles when he was there the last 4 years.
It was. They absolutely hit that pick out of the park, and you knew that when his contract was up, he was going to get paid in free agency, and somebody would probably overpay for him. And I don't blame the Eagles not for opening up the checkbook.
Sure.
Did he go to the Texans, I believe?
Yes,
right?
sir. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, he was really good, and Philadelphia falls in love with the C level talent that gives you A- results.
Yes.
Like I've always said, Joe, like in Philadelphia, I swear the 93 Phillies are more beloved than the 09 Phillies. Yet it was the 09 Phillies that won a World Series. It was fucking those guys that lost, and they're more adored.
Yeah. What, Mitch Williams, that was the guy back then.
That's right. That's right.
Nick, do you think, knowing Howie Roseman, like Howie Roseman, that if he had pulled off the AJ trade, later today, and then Myles Garrett doesn't get traded to the Rams, would he have tried to flip the pick to try and bring Myles Garrett to the Eagles? Because I heard that we were talking about that some last week.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. Howie loves splash moves. He's always moving one piece, and it's just the first piece to a puzzle. It's never the final step in the process as far as a rehaul or an overhaul or retooling a roster. If I'm an NFL GM and I look down at my phone and I see Howie Roseman calling or texting, I don't answer it, because Howie Roseman always seems to get the better end of the deal more often than not. So I would not rule out anything. And they could look, I mean, Myles Garrett's now, what is he, 8 years into the league, 9 years, something like that. Still going, obviously, the sack record. And they could legitimately use somebody like that, because they had to bring Brandon Graham out of retirement and put him on a pitch count, so to speak.
Well, unfortunately, the Rams are like, we don't need first round picks. So they made that move and sent Jared Verse back to Cleveland. So just a splash move again by the Rams. Nick, you're more in the I guess the news talk world now, but how is Radio Life treating you there in Philly? A few people have texted in excited to see you in Nashville again.
It's good, man. We talk about everything. We could go from talking about Jalen Hurts to Donald Trump versus Joe Biden to who was out at the Emmy Awards to this uptick in ticks that are going. Have you seen the tick count with Lyme disease lately? All of a sudden around the country, we've got like 400,000 cases of ticks, and everybody's like, freaking out. And I'm like, I'm going out and golfing, and if I end up with Lyme disease, well, you know what? So be it. When my time comes, I'm going.
Well, just don't hit your ball into the woods like Chase, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, he's seen that.
You're good to go.
That's true.
Absolutely.
He knows that's true. Nick, it's good to see you. Good to catch up. And we stay in touch, but thanks so much for doing this.
All right, boys. Continued success. Love the show.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. That is Nick Cale joining us from Philadelphia, our old friend that used to do mornings here, and now he does mornings in Philly on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, the host of Cale and Company, and always great to have him on. We'll have more coming next.
Well, hold on before we go. Hold on, we got that news. Schefter had the news about Myles Garrett, right? A couple hours ago. We've not seen any movement on or rumors on AJ Brown, have we? Nothing.
I have.
Actually, you have?
I just saw. Jordan Schultz was saying that they're working on it, and it would involve a 2028 first round pick, is what, and some other things, but that's what's being discussed, I guess.
Oh, and 28. Why not a 20? This is going to get spicy, I think.
Yeah. Schultz, AJ Brown on track to be traded to the Patriots for a 2028 first round pick. Other details of the package are still being discussed. That's Jordan Schultz. So,
and he didn't get invited to the wedding. That right there says volumes.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like when Dr. Crane opened his little garden, he invited all of us. So we felt special. But if you didn't invite to the garden opening, then you feel bad about that.
Yeah.
So,
what am I, Andy Bernard? The garden party? This is not a garden party, Joseph.
Nobody knows who Andy Bernard is.
Yes.
That's very good. Well, and more coming up next. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chase and Big Joe broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. 615-737-1025, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Appreciate Nick Kale for joining us. Good to catch up with him and talk some Eagles. Our text line remains undefeated, Joe.
Okay.
Steven in Hendersonville says, if you want an update on A.J. Brown, just find Diana Rossini. I bet she knows.
Oh, zing. Yeah, that story is just gone away, right? For the most part.
But I mean, she's going to reappear at some point and do a tell-all, I think.
And with that, she takes the entire league with her.
Oh, yeah, probably.
News, Russell Wilson's done. He's going to be an analyst on CBS. He's had some, I mean, he's worth like $300 million. So it's not like he's not
a good quarterback anymore. He's not a starter.
He took the job over being the backup for the Jets, which I guess I would as well. So
yeah. So he's going to join the CBS studio crew is what it looks like.
Yep.
Which, I mean, to be honest, and this is the problem that I think a lot of these networks are running into. They need more of the recent guys, but not a lot of them are good is the problem. And so I don't know how good he's going to be at that. You know, I think Mike Tomlin joining NBC is good. I hate that they moved on from Tony Dungy, but he wasn't great. He was
not,
so,
and that's Matt Ryan. I thought Matt Ryan was good, but how are you going to pass up opportunity to be president of football operations?
Yeah. Yeah.
With the
I didn't
Falcons?
think, I thought Matt Ryan was a little better in the studio than he was in the booth.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't turn that down. You know, Drew Brees tried it, wasn't very good.
Ugh.
Brady's getting better. I mean, I will say Brady's putting the work in and getting better.
Yep.
I think Gronk has some personality. I think JJ Watt is okay.
Well, we're talking different. Are you talking studio? Are you talking color commentary?
Well, I guess both, but I mean, because you've seen all this kind of try.
Like, I don't want to see Gronk call a game. I think after
no. I think he's a
series,
studio guy.
Yeah, I'm out on that. By the way, Greg Olson won the National Emmy for color commentary for national broadcast, which he's really good. But
he is the best. I think he's the best one.
Right I'm still a Romo guy, man. I
like
Romo.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like if I'm NBC, whenever Collinsworth is done, I would go get Greg Olson.
Yeah,
put him with Tirico. And here's why I say that: they're one of the teams on Madden on the video game, and I know it's a video game, but like hearing them together, I'm like, this is really good. So I would think that Tirico and Olsen would be really good together.
Hey, not off topic, but on topic. Have the Vols radio, have they hired anybody? I haven't seen anybody.
Not that I've seen.
To take over that.
Speaking of, I've had the softball on, and Tennessee lost to Texas in game 1, and now they're playing game 2.
Yeah, it's a double elimination. So whoever wins moves on to the championship. Whoever loses, see ya.
Goes home. So
going on. Yeah. So it's weird because they had 30 minutes in between and they cleared the stadium out. And I was like,
yep,
what's going on here? Is there a rain delay? And then I looked up and there it was. So yeah, Tennessee and Texas, round 2 coming up. Right.
Hair Metal Henry says Diana Rossini will reappear with her podcast, Bussin' with All the Boys.
That guy, that Henry guy, my gosh.
Oh boy. Clay has
that hurt the team.
Thank you, Mike. Clay has called in with a comment on AJ Brown. Hello, Clay.
Boys, how we doing?
Fantastic.
Are we in the studio today?
Joe is in the studio. Chase is in the home studio because he was sleepy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you said you were remote today. Excuse me there.
That's
Jake.
okay.
If you go back to when AJ Brown was with the Titans, and I still think it was a mistake, to get rid of him. And I do think that cost that general manager his job. But supposedly he was bumping his gums pretty good and kind of being a little bit of a cancer in the locker room, wasn't he?
I don't know if I don't know if he was a cancer. From people I've talked to, he wasn't, but he did like to, as you flap his gums. I mean, he liked to talk, and I think there was one person that didn't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I watched that guy play, you know, for 4 years in college, of course, against Vanderbilt. And, you know, that guy's a freak. And y'all think something is, I mean, I heard that maybe something was going to happen by 3 p.m., but this has been talked about for a while that he was going to be traded.
Yeah, because you heard that on the show. You heard us talking about it.
I think Clay, by the end of the day, he's a Patriot. That's what I think.
Well, by the way, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Am I still allowed to provide Uber Eats service to y'all?
Yeah, thank you for your donation last week, Clay, to Folds of Honor. That meant a lot to a lot of people, so thank you.
Did that bring me back in your good graces, Joe?
You were never out of our good graces. Although Chuck dropped off a dozen creamsicle donuts to our live remote at Goodwood, Nashville, and said he would like to vie to be our number one fan. I'm like, all right, we'll put in consideration.
Well, he probably doesn't like to shoot the middle finger, so maybe, you know.
Well, we've moved past this, right, Clay? We don't do that anymore, correct?
By the way, I have emailed Candace for a second little sit down, so we'll see what happens there.
I'm sure that's number one on her list, so that's good. You're well done.
I'm going to propose. Here's what I'm going to propose. I'm going to propose she makes me stay in the third level. Men's basketball, I have to stay in the third level and just put me in a straitjacket. That way I can't move my arms or my hands.
Yeah, that's not too weird. Just said, hey, I got great seats. Who'd you sit next to? Well, they have this guy in a straitjacket that's next to us. I'm never going back. Is it Hannibal Lecter?
Everybody will know who it was.
God almighty. But anyway, you got to redeem yourself somehow, and then we'll be here tomorrow for donut delivery if you get a chance.
Yes, sir.
All
Have
right.
a great day, boys.
Thank you, Clay.
Pal.
615-737-1025. We will have more coming up next. Chasing Big Joe on this Monday, 1025 The Game. Chase the Big Joe 102.5 The Game on this Monday. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe. Nick Frazier with us as well. Joe, so Richard Deitch, who kind of covers the media circus. Now he's doing stuff with Sports Business Journal, been around a long time. He tweeted this out, and I thought it was interesting. NBC Sports said that Game 6 between the Spurs and Thunder averaged 11.6 million viewers on NBC and Peacock. It's the most watched game of the season, which will likely be topped by Game 7. Those numbers not out yet. For context, Blue Jays Mariners Game 7 on Fox did a 9.1 million viewers. The Daytona 500 was 7.49. The college football playoff semifinals averaged 16.8 million on ESPN.
That's good. I think the NBA playoffs, that's the only thing on, right? I mean, what's against them? There's nothing.
Yeah. Well, you have you have the Stanley Cup Final.
Those ratings won't even register anywhere. We all know that. But the game, because the NBA game between the Spurs and OKC, they were fun. They were exciting. They were good and was the only thing on. And so the number, that game was Saturday night, right? Game 7, those numbers will be massive because that was really like the thing that was on. So good for them. I think it's exciting. We love Luke Cornett, so we're watching the Spurs, see how he's doing, but the games were fun. They were excited. The energy was there. Now we'll see if they can carry on to the NBA finals between the Knicks and the Spurs. When does that even start?
Wednesday.
Okay.
So the Stanley Cup Final starts tomorrow. You can hear that starting at 6:30 on 102.5 The Game, Carolina against Vegas. And then Wednesday, starting at 6:30, Game 1, the Spurs and the Knicks, a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals.
I'm curious if anybody's from Canada that's a hockey fan, do you give a rat's about Vegas versus Carolina?
It is an intriguing
right? Because I think you would. If you like hockey, you'd be watching that. I mean, if you're a hockey fan, you'll watch the Stanley Cup Final. But I'm just curious, if you're a Canadian, if you live in Toronto, are you watching it? I don't know.
I don't know. It's a really good question. I mean, I'm gonna watch because it's an intriguing matchup. I think Carolina's gonna win. But I will be curious to see what, not only in Canada but in the United States, what the ratings are.
Isn't it crazy that the city of Raleigh has more championships than Nashville, Tennessee?
Yep. But you know what? What's funny, our good friend Rick Merritt pointed out that 1999, the Knicks lost to the Spurs. That was kind of the beginning of the Spurs dynasty with Greg Popovich. What was the Super Bowl matchup for that season?
For the 99 season, it was the Rams and the Titans.
Yep. Could it be? Could we see it again? Who knows?
I see the Rams being there, but I don't see their dance partner.
Could you
being
imagine?
there.
Like, could you? Is it in LA?
It is in LA.
So if it was Rams, I mean, look, I'm kidding. It's not going to be the Titans, but like that, that would be something.
Well, I will tell you, and I've written about this before as well, that the 98 St. Louis Rams were awful. That team went 3-13. I'm telling you, they were terrible. And nobody saw what happened in 99. And you feel bad about saying this, but if Trent Green doesn't blow his knee, I'm pretty sure the Rams go 6-10 that year. Kurt Warner just came in and just started slinging the ball down the field, and Isaac Bruce and Torrey Hilton, all those guys, like, this is pretty cool. What? We're opening up, and then it took off from there, and you had Marshall Faulk, and, everything came together, but you never know, and that's the exciting part about sports. You never know, because that team for the Rams, 97 and 98 Rams were terrible, and then they got it in 99 and won the Super Bowl. So you just never, ever know. We can say all day, no, it's not a chance in hell, but you never know, man.
How much credit? So Dick Vermeil was the head coach. He was the GM and the head coach of that team. So obviously he deserves credit, but does Mike Martz get the credit for basically inventing the greatest show on turf?
Absolutely does. Yep, he took over because Mike Martz wanted Trent Green to come in and do that, and Trent Green was decent quarterback, but he was not Kurt Warner, obviously you could see, but yeah, he does, and then March took over in 01. They lost to the Patriots, and then he fell out of favor with Warner. He signed Mark Bulger, and then kind of things went haywire after that. But yeah, I mean, he was pretty good at the time, man.
So the all pros from that team that year: Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, first team; Isaac Bruce, second team; Orlando Pace, Kevin Carter, first team; Todd Light, second team; Tony Horn, second team.
Was Torrey Holt on that team? I thought he was. Am I wrong? Who were the receivers on that team, the Rams team? And
yeah, he was.
Okay,
he was a rookie.
All right. Yep.
He was drafted out of NC State.
Was Oz Akeem on that team too? I'm trying to think of the receivers that they had.
They had yes, Oz Akeem, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Tony Horn, Ricky Prohl, Chris Thomas.
Ricky Prohl, my goodness, he played forever in the league. That's good. So you know what? You had a base of guys there, but what you didn't have to begin with, quarterback. So Warner comes in and just takes over, and next thing you know, they win a Super Bowl. So you can strike fire, man, anywhere. And the Rams did that in 98.
Yeah, they drafted Dre Bly that year too.
Pretty good, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it was It was a good team.
Right now, I was trying to think other teams that, that were awful. Well, hey, look, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but that same year, the Colts with Manning in 98, the Colts were terrible. They had the number one pick. Then in 99, they go 13-3 as well. Titans just happened to stomp on them.
Nobody thought the Titans were going to do anything. They were 8-8. Everybody thought they were just kind of middle of the pack.
Remember in 98, they were 8-6, and they were building something. The problem was their last two games were against the Packers and
the Vikings.
So
I was there the last game as the Oilers.
Yeah, you hit two really good teams down the stretch. They had to play, Derek Mason was on the team. They had to play the Packers in Green Bay, and it snowed the whole time. And Reggie White just destroyed the team in that game. And then, but you saw a little something. But as Terry McCormick said earlier, once Javon Curse got here and added that extra oomph, you knew it was there. If they don't draft Javon Curse in 99, they don't get where they got.
No,
that
I
makes
agree.
sense. That's great English, Joe. They don't get to the level where they were at the end of the season. There we go.
Mike on our text line says, "Hi, promise you that the Tennessee Titans will win 7 of their first 9 games."
I hope you're correct, buddy.
I mean, you got the Jets, Eagles, at the Giants, at the Ravens, Texans, at the Colts, Browns, at the Bengals, and then the bye week.
Yep. Again, week 1. That's all you need to worry about. Week 1.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. Coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is and celebrity birthdays. Put a bow on this Monday. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe 102.5, the game here on this Monday. Well, I texted Joe during the break that there's an old game on the NFL Network, the Dolphins versus the Jets on Monday Night Football, and I guess it's the year 2000. I was like, turn it on, and what is it with all these contract disputes with cable companies right now?
I don't know, man, but I remember that game well. That's Jimbo Elliott in the back of the end zone, a pass from Testaverde. It was a Monday night game, and the reason I remember it, real quick story, I was working at Channel 2 at the time, and I was a cameraman, and we had to do a live shot at 10 o'clock at night, and that game took forever, and they made us go live a little after midnight at some dude's house in the middle of nowhere. That's how I remember that game. It was a hell of a game in 2000.
Dave Wannstedt, coach of the Dolphins, and I guess would that have been Herm with the Jets?
I think it was Al Groh.
Oh, yeah.
Who was there for only a year. They left and went to Virginia. But like Marino, it was a hell of a game, man.
Yeah. But Vinny Testaverde was probably, what, 55 at this point?
Easily.
Something like that.
Easily.
With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays.
All right. First on the list today, as I try to get that. There we go.
There we go, pal.
Sorry. World Barefoot Day is today. So be one with the earth. Dare Day is today. Dinosaur Day. Don't Give Up the Ship Day. Flip a Coin Day. Heads or tails. National Thank God It's Monday Day. Interesting. Mondays are the worst. Heimlich Maneuver Day. International Children's Day. Global Day of Parents. National Hazelnut Cake Day. Absolutely delicious. National Nail Polish Day, National Olive Day, Oscar the Grouch Day, okay. Say Something Nice Day, as those two don't go well together. National Pen Pal Day, New Year's Resolution Recommitment Day. We are halfway through the year now. Stand for Children Day, Wear a Dress Day, and World Milk Day.
It's a lot of days there, buddy. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. You have to get these within 2 years of their actual birthday. Dr. Crane, you'll go first today, okay? You ready?
I'm ready.
How old is former University of Tennessee football coach Greg Schiano?
Oh, Greg Schiano's got to be like, he's somewhere in his 60s. Let's go 64.
That's what I was going to say. 65.
61, which is still the most bizarre day I ever had working in sports and TV was Greg Schiano. Chase, how old is Alexi Lawless? I guess he plays soccer.
Yeah, he's on TV now. 53.
Name again?
Alexi Lawless.
Alexi Lawless. Yeah, he's on Fox. I'll go 58.
56. You're on the board there, Dr. Crane. Dr. Crane, how old is former Nashville Predators goalie Mike Dunham?
56.
The Wall.
Yeah.
57.
54. 2-0 there, Nikki. Chaser, how old is Santana Moss, former receiver?
46.
49.
47. 2-1. Dr. Crane, how old is Carlos Zambrano?
Ooh, Carlos Zambrano is 51.
48.
45. So close. Chaser, how old is the great Morgan Freeman?
81.
84.
89.
Wow.
Dr. Crane, how old is your celebrity crush?
I remember the first time I saw Andy Dufresne.
Heidi Klum. Or
Oh, you got me
Klum.
excited. I thought it was, what is it now? Klum.
Heidi Klum.
Sorry.
Heidi Klum.
They said
Sorry.
Shakira. It got me excited. Let's go 41.
I'm going to say 55.
53. We're tied at 2. Chase, how old is Alanis Morissette?
58.
59.
52. Dr. Crane, how old is comedian Amy Schumer?
46.
44.
45. That's a push. All right. Lightning round. Here we go. Chaser, how old is guitar player Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones?
80.
81.
79. Chase is up now 3-2. Dr. Crane, how old is country singer, and this blows my mind, Ronnie Dunn of Brooks and Dunn. How old's Ronnie Dunn?
72.
67.
73.
Wow.
We're tied at 3. Chaser, how old is actress Lisa Hartman Black?
Clint Black's wife, right?
Yes, sir.
66.
70.
70 exactly.
Oh.
Dr. Crane's up now 5-3. Dr. Crane, how old is comedian Mark Curry from Hanging with Mr. Cooper?
71.
62.
65. Chaser, how old is singer Brandy Carlisle?
48.
43.
45. It's up 6-3. That might get you the win. Dr. Crane, how old is actress Terry Polo? She was Ben Stiller's wife in Meet the Parents.
64.
50.
57. Dr. Crane, you won, buddy.
Nice.
How about that?
Hey, how about that, Dr. Crane? Ain't he something? You win 6-3, buddy.
Thank you.
So proud of you some days.
That is going to do it for us here today. Great stuff.
As we do, leave every show to our guys out there. It's the simple message of all time, how much we care about you and love you. I get some days you are struggling. It's rough out there, but you're still here. You're fighting going forward. I'll tell you, man, the value of prayer and asking for things. And sometimes if the world, you feel like it's crushing on you, ask God for a break, man. Just say, look, I need a break today. Can you help me? He'll help you, but keep going and being strong. As I say all the time, the reason we need you here, you still haven't met in your life all the people who are going to love you. We need you here. Know how much that we love you, and more importantly, more than anything else in the world, know how much God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming your way next here on 102.5 The Game.